Kemi, let us try this, it won't hurt. In a lively compound in Nigeria, Kemi and Dapo were the closest of friends. They lived just a few steps away from each other, and their bond was as strong as siblings. Every morning, they would run out of their houses, excited to play together. Their favorite games were hide and seek, tag, and jumping rope. Laughter echoed through the compound as the two of them darted around, creating fun wherever they went. Their mothers often sat under the big mango tree, chatting and sharing stories from their childhood. Kemi and Dapo would sometimes sit close by, listening in. The stories were full of wisdom and lessons, and though the children didn't always understand everything, they loved hearing about brave hunters, clever tortoises, and kind-hearted villagers. The stories made them dream big and imagine a world full of adventures. Kemi and Dapo thought their friendship would never change. They promised to always look out for each other and share everything. Little did they know, life was about to test their bond in a way they could never have imagined. In a lively compound in Nigeria, Kemi and Dapo were the closest of friends. They lived just a few steps away from each other, and their bond was as strong as siblings. Every morning, they would run out of their houses, excited to play together. Their favorite games were hide and seek, tag, and jumping rope. Laughter echoed through the compound as the two of them darted around, creating fun wherever they went. One sunny afternoon, Kemi and Dapo were playing hide and seek in the compound. While looking for a good hiding spot, Dapo stumbled upon a small box in his older cousin's room. The box wasn't locked, and inside were strange-looking discs and papers. "Kemi, come and see this," he whispered, waving her over. Kemi's eyes widened as she peeked into the box. The two friends didn't know exactly what they had found, but the pictures on the discs made them curious. "Let's watch it," Dapo suggested. At first, Kemi hesitated. "What if we get into trouble?" she asked, but her curiosity soon won. They quickly decided to wait until no one was around. That evening, when their mothers were busy cooking and chatting, Kemi and Dapo sneaked into Dapo's cousin's room. They played one of the discs on the old DVD player and sat quietly, eyes glued to the screen. They didn't fully understand what they were watching, but it felt exciting and forbidden. After that first night, Kemi and Dapo couldn't stop thinking about what they had seen. Whenever they had a chance, they would sneak into the room and watch more. It became their little secret, something they never talked about with anyone else. At first, it felt fun to have a secret just between the two of them. But soon, things started to change. Kemi and Dapo began to act differently. They weren't as playful or cheerful as before. They started to avoid the other children in the compound and spent more time whispering to each other. The stories their mothers told no longer seemed interesting, and they stopped sitting under the mango tree to listen. Their secret had created a wall between them and the world they once loved. Even their friendship felt different. Instead of laughing and playing, they would sit quietly, lost in their thoughts. They didn't realize it yet, but the secret they shared was beginning to dim the bright light of their childhood. Baba Ade, the wise elder of the compound, was a kind man who loved all the children. He often sat on his wooden stool near the mango tree, watching the children play. Baba Ade knew every child by name and could tell when something wasn't right. One day, he noticed that Kemi and Dapo were not their usual lively selves. They no longer played with the other children, and their laughter was missing from the compound. Instead, they seemed withdrawn and quiet, as if carrying a heavy burden. Baba Ade decided to keep a close eye on them. One afternoon, he called them over. "Kemi, Dapo, come and sit with me," he said gently. The children hesitated but didn't want to seem rude, so they sat down. "Tell me, why do you two look so sad these days? Is everything okay?" Baba Ade asked, his voice full of care. Kemi and Dapo looked at each other but didn't say a word. They were afraid to tell the truth. Baba Ade smiled kindly. Sometimes, when we carry secrets in our hearts, they make us feel heavy. But sharing them can make us feel light again, he said. His words planted a small seed of thought in their minds. The next day, Baba Ade gathered all the children under the mango tree for one of his famous stories. Kemi and Dapo sat at the back, still feeling unsure about talking to him. Baba Ade began his tale. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who planted seeds in his garden. Some seeds were good and grew into strong, healthy plants. But one day, he accidentally planted bad seeds. These seeds grew into thorny bushes that choked the good plants and ruined his garden. The children listened intently as Baba Ade continued. The farmer realized that what he planted was very important. If he wanted a beautiful garden, he had to choose his seeds carefully. Our minds are like gardens. What we watch, hear, and think about are the seeds we plant. Good seeds bring happiness and wisdom, but bad seeds can bring trouble and sadness. Kemi and Dapo felt as though Baba Ade was speaking directly to them. His story made them think about the seeds they had been planting in their minds. Could the things they were watching be the bad seeds? That night, Kemi couldn't sleep. Baba Ade's story kept playing in her mind. She thought about how she and Dapo had changed and how their secret had made them feel unhappy. The next morning, she went to Dapo. "I think we need to tell our mothers," she said. Dapo's eyes widened. "Tell them. What if they get angry?" he asked. Kemi shook her head. Baba Ade said secrets can make us feel heavy. Maybe if we tell the truth, we will feel better. After a long silence, Dapo nodded. "Okay, let's do it together." That evening, the two friends went to their mothers. With trembling voices, they told them everything, how they had found the box, what they had been watching, and how it had made them feel. Their mothers listened quietly, their faces full of concern. To their surprise, Kemi and Dapo's mothers did not shout or scold them. Instead, they hugged their children tightly. "We are glad you told us the truth," Kemi's mother said. "What you did was wrong, but it's brave to admit your mistakes." Dapo's mother added, "From now on, we will guide you and help you make better choices. You don't have to carry this burden alone." The children felt a weight lift off their shoulders. For the first time in weeks, they felt free. Their mothers decided to talk to Baba Ade for advice on how to help Kemi and Dapo heal. Together, they came up with a plan to fill the children's days with positive activities and teach them more about the importance of protecting their minds and hearts. With the support of their mothers and Baba Ade, Kemi and Dapo began to rebuild their lives. They spent more time outdoors, playing games and listening to stories under the mango tree. Baba Ade became their mentor, teaching them about the power of making good choices. Slowly but surely, Kemi and Dapo found joy again in the simple, wholesome adventures of childhood. They learned that mistakes are part of life, but what matters most is how you grow from them. Their friendship grew stronger, and the light of their childhood shone brightly once more. One quiet afternoon, as the children played near the mango tree, a young man arrived at the compound. He was Dapo's older cousin, Connor, the owner of the box that had caused so much trouble. Connor had been away for weeks, but now he was back. He greeted everyone warmly, but when he saw Kemi and Dapo, he noticed they looked uneasy. Connor had always liked the two children and often teased them playfully. But this time, he could sense something was wrong. Later that evening, Connor approached Dapo. "Hey, what's going on? You look like you've seen a ghost," he joked. Dapo hesitated, unsure if he should say anything. Kemi, who was nearby, stepped in. "Connor, we found your box," she said, her voice trembling. Connor's eyes widened. "You found my box? What did you do with it?" he asked. Dapo confessed everything. Connor was silent for a moment, then sighed. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left those things where you could find them. I should have been more careful, he said. Connor realized that his careless actions had impacted Kemi and Dapo. He decided to speak with Baba Ode about how to make things right. Baba Ode, with his usual wisdom, suggested that Connor take responsibility and help the children learn from this experience. The next day, Connor gathered the children under the mango tree. He told them about the mistakes he had made and how important it was to think about how their actions could affect others. I've learned a big lesson, Connor said. From now on, I will be more careful about what I bring into this house. And I hope you will also be careful about what you let into your minds and hearts. Kemi and Dapo felt a sense of closure. They forgave Connor and promised to be more mindful in the future. With Baba Ode's guidance, the compound's sense of community and care grew even stronger. Thank you for always watching my videos. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more interesting and educating African stories like this.